My boss fired me in just 3 minutes, and I turned it into $1 million business. I still remember that morning, just an ordinary morning like any other. Except that day, I lost my job. I was 27, working as a marketing executive at a foreign company. My salary was decent. Not great, but enough to get by. Every morning, I would ride my motorbike to the office, plug in my headphones, sip instant coffee, open emails, make slides, check campaign numbers. No passion, no excitement, but not exactly hatred either. I thought I just needed a stable job. I imagined I'd stay there for a few more years, at least until I got a promotion like everyone dreams of. Then came that day. My boss called me into his office. His face was stern, cold, and blunt. No warm-up, no sugarcoating. In exactly 3 minutes, he told me I no longer fit the company, that my recent project failed, that I could leave immediately. 3 minutes, barely enough time for a coffee to cool, and yet it was enough to shatter my career, my pride, and all my efforts. I walked out of that meeting room like a ghost, passed by the desks I'd sat at for 2 years. No one said anything. Everyone kept their heads down like I didn't exist. I went home, crashed on my bed, and slept for 18 hours straight. When I woke up, it felt like I was falling into a bottomless pit. The next few days were the darkest days of my life. I kept asking myself, where did I go wrong? Am I really that useless, or is life just this unfair? I watched my friends getting promoted, buying cars, traveling. Meanwhile, I couldn't even open Facebook. My mom called, her voice trembling. Is everything okay at work? I lied, saying, yes, Mom, it's all good, while drowning in fear that I might just be a failure for the rest of my life. Then one night, in the depths of my despair, I was scrolling through YouTube like always. I stumbled upon a video of a guy who had been fired, just like me, and later built an online course that earned tens of thousands of dollars a month. I scoffed, thinking it was just clickbait. But something in his eyes caught me. Something real. The pain, the confusion, the determination. I looked at myself. I had knowledge. I had skills. I'd run campaigns, written copy, optimized ads. I opened my laptop and started Googling how to build a website, how to launch an online course, what is a digital product. I spent the whole night studying and taking notes. A week later, I launched my first humble website, a simple blog sharing marketing tips for beginners. No fancy stuff, just one landing page and a few blog posts. But I didn't stop there. I recorded my first videos using an old phone. No microphone. Grainy audio. I wrote articles from real-life experience. The ad campaigns that flopped. The headlines I tweaked to increase conversions. I shared everything on my personal Facebook and in marketing groups. No one cared at first. But then someone messaged me, "Do you offer coaching?" That question was the first light in the tunnel. I wrote some notes, made a simple slide deck, and launched my first coaching group. Just 3 students. But they were thrilled. And they started referring friends. From 3 came 10. From 1 session came 4. I released my first online course for just $20. It wasn't much, but I sold 50 slots in the first week. I reinvested, bought a better camera, learned how to edit videos, studied storytelling. I posted consistently, did live streams, and built a community. 1 year later, I had over 3,000 students, 5 courses, and a small team helping me. By year 2, I hit $175,000 in revenue. By year 3, I was invited to speak at entrepreneur events, featured on podcasts and business shows. I rented an office, hired full-time staff, and expanded into business consulting and corporate training. I never forgot that day I was fired. And strangely, I no longer resented my old boss. Because if it weren't for that kick, I'd probably still be in a cubicle, clocking in 8 hours a day, waiting for a 5% raise, living a stable but empty life. I'm not saying everyone should quit their job or launch a course. What I do want to say is, every fall can be the starting point of a breakthrough, if you're willing to get up and take a different path. Don't wait for the world to hand you opportunities. Create your own. Don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? I was fired in 3 minutes, but I used those 3 minutes as fuel to build $1 million business. Not because I'm special, but because I refused to let pain define me, and instead used it to build something greater. And maybe you, listening to this now, are standing right at the edge of your own incredible journey.